You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Thank you, Marshall. Visuals and merchandising. Now, in my previous podcast, I talked about how Nordstrom's was adapting to the current retail environment by having like a showroom type of thing. But even in those showrooms, you still have to have this stuff. Still has to be merchandised. You still have to have visuals. It still has to look good. Now, this is something personal to me because, with Rom with 1,001 jobs, I've worked as a merchandiser. So, I remember the first time I kind of got exposed to merchandising. I was working in this shop that sold African clothing and sculptures and stuff, right? And I would just be in there just chilling, I just work at my register, do stuff. I mean, it didn't get that many customers, but the customers we got, we could easily get like 2,000 or 3,000 a day because when people did come in there, they bought stuff, right? But I remember the owner had a cousin who would come in there to work sometime, right? And that was all right. She was cool, but I don't know. She would just come in there. She would just change shit around just for something to do. Yeah, I was like, damn, this is just a part-time job for me. But that was my first exposure to really merchandising. And then, done some part-time and some other stuff, some other places, right? That merchandising is very important, the look of something. Because even with this retail apocalypse and everything, stuff still has to look good. Stuff still has to look a certain way. Even when I do my vending, anybody who's seen my tables, and maybe if y'all see how I set things up, I set it up a certain way. I don't just stack the books up there or anything. I design, spread them out a certain way, lay them a certain way, and all of that. It make it enticing. Because despite the retail apocalypse, retail ain't going anywhere like that. It's not going to just go away totally. Now, like I've said before in previous podcasts, you're still going to have specialty shops. Department stores, they just going to adapt, but they still going to be there. They might downsize, they're going to close a lot, but many of them might start incorporating what Nordstrom's has done. So you know what? They still need people to fix those mannequins, to still lay those sweaters out, to do all that, because a lot of times that's what catches an eye. Now, where's the business idea? Now, I remember when I was first exposed to merchandising years ago, I said, you know what? This would be a good business. And in fact, some people have done that. A lot of companies will have people go into different stores just to merchandise stuff. You see them sometimes. They kind of like independent contractors, and they'll work for a company and they'll say, look, let me, they'll go to different stores and set up the displays. It could be like a popular one is like with greeting cards and stuff. I know some greeting card merchandisers, or they could work for some of these bigger companies like Under Armour or something. Like, oh my goodness, I knew this finance sister that worked for Under Armour. Oh, good God. Man, I'm about to slip into what I talk about on my other channel. But she was independent. She had some stores she had to go to, and she'd just go to them and do her thing. And what I was thinking about business-wise, somebody who's like an independent, like say somebody is like real good at setting up shop, like really making stuff look good. And this is a possibility because now, getting with everything now, people got to get more creative. Say they stare, say, you know what? Let me just I'm going to start a business just merchandising. You get a portfolio or something, straighten up some stuff, take some pictures of you like organizing your clothes in such a way. Right? Then head to the local mall, some small stores. Now, in most stores, to be honest with you, because it's not going to be an easy one to jump into, but most stores have somebody who can do that job. Mostly it's the people who work there. But you never know. You never know. You hit some maybe small place that's just starting out. Say, hey, this is what I do. They come in and do that. You can be an independent contractor with it. And you can definitely, if you were to start a business, maybe hit up some of these companies that maybe might not have their own merchandisers. And I believe, and I got to check on this, I believe they do have independent people who do stuff. You could definitely hit them up. I mean, I've met some. See, I first got into merchandising because I was working at this one department store, right? And, I ain't think much of it, but they had a merchandiser come in and take care of the polo. And I was talking with the young lady, right? It was like the Ralph Lauren representative. I was talking with the young lady. One, she was fine. Two, she living in a big old townhouse driving some late model car. I was like, wait a minute. And I started looking it up. Merchandisers make a lot of money. I was just like, uh-oh. So, maybe you could hit up some of these bigger companies, see if they got something. You can even hit them up, see if they got anything independent or, they looking for people. Because it's still a good job. Because, like I said, it's, despite everybody saying the retail apocalypse and stuff, you still gonna have stores. And you still, like, a lot of these bigger companies, like I mentioned, Under Armour, maybe Nike, you can go out and make a whole lot. And like I said, the independent part would be tough, just to be honest with you. That would be tough because most stores have it, but you never know. You never know. Just, hit your local malls up and stuff, get a business card, hit them up, see what's up. You never know. Sometimes you can create a job just presenting something, because I know somebody who's trying to create something at this place she works. She's trying to create a whole new thing. She got a presentation and everything. You never know. But it makes a big part of sales. Like in department stores, I know, like, the people who run them are actually the merchandisers. Because that's how important it is. It's not the salespeople, even managers. It's the merchandisers. I mean, they, especially the bigger stores, they make a big deal out of how something is placed. I mean, they'll sit and discuss it for weeks and shit. They'll have directives that'll go out just to say, hey, set it up this way on this type of table, have this type of merchandise, have these type of visuals, put this on the mannequin. They'll have posters and everything. That's some major stuff. And see, you got a lot of people out there. I'm reading this book now that I'm going to review later. It's a work of fiction, right? And one of the characters in this book is only concerned about how everybody is dressed and everything. Somebody like that, of course, it seems shallow, it seems goofy, daffy to a lot of people. But a person like that, they go into some store, and it's like, boom. Or even somebody like that, who know how to, like, hook up stuff on mannequins and stuff. Because especially men go into a lot of these stores, they'll buy stuff right off the mannequin. People will do it. They'll get that outfit. It's like, I want that outfit. It's like, boom. Because the visual thing is that's actually an extra salesperson. Because you go in a lot of stores, and if it's busy, you get some salespeople that can try to help you, but if they got 5 other people, they can't focus on you. But if you got something set up somewhere, oh yeah, boom. So if you that type of person, you know how you can make something look real nice, or even if you could fold a shirt, just make it look real pretty. You could probably have a job, or a business, And like I said, I'm just throwing it out. I hadn't had motivation to check into it personally, but I thought about it. I know at the very least, yeah, plenty of these big companies that need independent people like that. They probably advertise for them. And I know everybody still saying, well, the retail apocalypse, the stores ain't going away totally. You just going to see less of them. And quite frankly, we got more retail stores than we need anyway. So, yeah, I just want to throw that out. And just one more thing. I might throw out some unique things or things people are not thinking about. In this day and age, first of all, I know people talking about universal basic income, but it ain't here yet. And you can't be waiting for it. And sometimes you just got to get creative, You just got to get creative. You got to just say, okay, what can I do? And you'd be surprised what somebody, some people, or maybe a business will pay for just to have you do it. So anyway, right? That's it for today. Let's go make that money.